Alright guys, here we go. So this is where CSS comes in and where your websites get a lot better. So this is going to be good for you guys because you get to finally see what it looks like to create a styled website. So in the olden days, back in the day when CSS didn't exist, web designers and programmers used HTML on its own to create websites. Now, they got extremely creative with their options in in HTML, and could create okay websites. However, they normally ended up slow and clunky and still looked pretty ugly. But when CSS came to be, it kind of redesigned the whole idea of web design. Now you create the skeleton of your website in HTML, just the simple bare bones of it, and then you style it in CSS and you make it look all nice. So that's what HTML and CSS is meant for. So if you have a cascading style sheet, CSS, you'll be able to make your website look great. So how do we do that? Well, it all starts with a file. So I'm going to open my website folder, and I'm going to create a new text document, and I'm going to rename this to style.css. It's going to be asking me if I want to change it, and yeah. Alright, so now we have style.css and index.html. I'm going to open this with Notepad++, and it will open this blank document. However, we don't want to be working on this just yet. We want to start in our index.html. We need to tell our index.html where our CSS document is, right? Because it doesn't just assume that style.css is the one we want to use. We need to tell it what we're using. So that's where the link tag comes in. Underneath your title, inside your head, go ahead and create a link tag. Do href, remember the anchor tag, equals style.css. Then rel equals style sheet. And then type equals text/CSS. And then you can close your tag. So that's a bunch of stuff to type. But basically what it means is we're referring to style.css, we're saying that it's a style sheet, and we're saying the type of style sheet is going to be CSS. So that should explain a bunch. Even if it's still kind of confusing, don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about the link tag very often. You're just using it to import your style sheet. So what does it mean by having a style.css? How do we even tell HTML that we're talking about a certain tag? Well, it's actually a lot easier than you might think. Let's take the body tag, for example. In the body tag, we just go to CSS and we type body, space, and brackets. So I like to separate out my brackets like this. Some people like to put their brackets like this. It's all up to you. But basically, for better organization, I'm just going to use this for right now. Now, what we're saying right here is any type of styling rules we put inside the body will be applied to this tag, the body tag, in the HTML. So what can we put here? Well, first of all, let's set a background color. So we do that by typing background-color, and then we just type a color. So normally you'll be using color codes, which is like hashtag FFFFF, which would be white, and there's a bunch of other ones, and you can use color generators, but for now, CSS actually comes with a few colors that you can use without having to type in color codes. For example, green. So the way we refer to that is we type background color, colon, and then what we want it to be. And then we end the statement with a semicolon. So let's try that again. Delete background color, and write background color, colon. What type of background color do we want? We want green, and we want to end the statement with a semicolon. Simple as that. You won't be using equal signs in CSS. You'll only be using colons, so get used to them. And what does this show on our website? Let's go ahead and open the file and take a look. So now you see the background color of our body is green. Perfect, that's just what we wanted. Now this is still pretty ugly, but that's because we don't have any content in it yet. We will soon enough, and I can show you a few other things while we are waiting. So let's close that. And inside our body tag, let's say we want a paragraph tag. Alright, So we do paragraph by typing P, close it, and let's say this is my text. Now let's go to style.css, and how do you think we're going to refer to that paragraph tag? Well, it's just as simple. We use the P tag, colon, and go down a bit. Alright, there we go. So what do we want to style this paragraph tag is? Let's set a color to it. Let's type color, and let's write white. Okay, but what if we also wanted to give it a font size? Because right now it's going to be really small. So we can write font size, and let's set it to 30 px, which stands for pixels. And let's give it a font weight while we're at it. So what that means is it can be like italicized, bolded. Let's set a font weight and set it to bold. Okay, so we've styled this paragraph tag quite a bit. We have a color, we have a font size, and we have a weight. So let's take a look at what it's going to look like. Open up our page again. And now we have this great text, which is white, 30 pixels as a size, and it is bolded. Now you could also italicize this if you wanted to, or really anything, and we will be using this for different things like aligning it in the center of the page or maybe to the right, and basically the world is your oyster at this point. You can use CSS to do anything. You might have noticed when I was typing, it was trying to autocomplete for me, and all I did was type FON, and you see how many tags are available in CSS. There are even more than this, which aren't showing, but it's pretty amazing what you can do with this. And I will be explaining many more of these, obviously not all of them, but many more of these that are helpful. And hopefully we will go and create a very nice website. So right now, this is a very, very, very simple CSS page. Let's recap. We just referred to our body tag, set a background color, and then we referred to a paragraph tag, and we set a color, size, and weight. Now you may be saying, what if I wanted this paragraph tag to not be the same as this paragraph tag, right? Because you're going to have multiple paragraph tags on your page. Well, that is something for the next tutorial when we work with IDs in classes, so get excited for that, and I will see you in the next one.